Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Spare Change Challenge on WPN today. So I'm trying a different setup. I spent yesterday trying to get this set up so we could do something, so we can make it work, right? We can flat here with a fish involved. So it's going to be two tables. It's going to be basically stack and tile. So when I'm not playing the hand, it'll disappear from my screen, but it'll stay in our window here until the end of the hand. So we'll try 4 tabling. I only have 2 going right now, so we shouldn't have more than 2 or 3 hands going at once. I wouldn't think. Most of the time it'll be more than 2. So I might be playing some hands off screen at some point. Obviously flopping top 2 here with a backdoor flush draw. We're just going to raise and get it in. Even though it is a 4-way pot. Out of position, I just think we're forced to play aggressive. We have no suits or anything, and not that great a connectedness. And pairs kind of suck for defending. It is not a very good turn card. I expect he would get it in with flush draws though, so I'm not really that worried about that. But if he has it, I mean, he just got us, right? Yeah. That sucks. And we don't catch up on the river. So we were flipping on the flop, I guess. Maybe slightly ahead. He just gets his best card in the deck turn. I just can't. I don't guess I can check fold there. Maybe I can. I don't know. It's just unfortunate that our first hand that happens. We had a pretty good session earlier. We flop a pair. It's a pretty draw heavy board. I still think betting is the best play here. I think we just keep betting. It's gonna have like top pairs, 2 pairs, some kind of draws. Sometimes, I think most of the time we're just gonna win with 3 barrels here. And obviously we can't continue once we get raised. I think on this fairly light dry board here, we're just going to bet. We have 2 backdoor flush draws. This is a board heads up. I might check back sometimes just to realize equity. But these players are short. If this player shoves, I can call it pair and 2 backdoor flush draws and overcards. I think it's fine. This one's a little trickier, I think. Yeah, we're just going to put it in if this player puts it in. So let me check my... What is that? Up there. Oh, I guess my chat's hanging down into the window. Sorry about that. Thought that looked kind of weird. Alright. So we won't have the chat on screen for now. If anybody says anything, I'll just say it out loud. I think a lot of streamers are doing that now. I think we just have to bet this board, just a bet fold spot. I think it's standard play on that board, even though it hits a lot of people's ranges. I still think people will just have to fold, like top pairs, bottom pairs, mid pairs. Hands with equity, they just have to fold. So I ran good in my last session or 2 since the last stream, and I had it up to 246. I was $4 away from taking my shot at 25, and I was actually hoping to do that this session. But as you can see, we've kind of gotten boned a little bit. We've lost several $20 pots with basically flips. So now we're at 222 again. Here we go again, back to 222. That seems to be our number we start a lot of sessions at. And just can't seem to get over that hump. I just want to take a little shot here, pull up some 25 and L, but we're going to stay disciplined, keep grinding, and when it happens, right? Yeah, I ran up a $46 stack pretty quickly earlier against a whale, and by the time I finished the session, I was down to 29 or something. Just one of those that I just kept running into people with a ton of equity when I had a ton of equity, and then I couldn't hold. That type of thing. That was a pretty fun session. I think we'll start with a check here. This board is much better for his range. I think we have showdown value here. We can bet some rivers, like the high card comes. We're just going to give up on that type of board with our exact holding for sure. It's hard for us to rip that board, although we do have a pretty wide range there. We have to find some check folds somewhere, and I think on that board we have no equity basically. We can do it. Figure out where to put my chat here. There we go. Oh, hey Ed, how you doing? Good to see you join the stream. You don't really have a whole lot of catching up to do. It says I've got some catching up to do. Yeah, not really. I mean, this is only really my second. This is my third stream playing PLO, but the second one I lost the footage for. It disappeared, and it wasn't really worth downloading and putting up anyway on YouTube. So it was not my best session. I was having a lot of technical difficulties, and I didn't play well either. So no point. It's a little bit too loose to open that, so we'll fold that. As you see, I'm using Omaha Indicator. It's still kind of a crutch for me. I'm getting used still to the concept of 4 cards. Sometimes it's just hard for me to instantly focus on what exactly my straight draws and everything are. So it's more just to make sure I don't accidentally fold something that just doesn't look like what I think it is. Like sometimes I'll have more equity than I think, and it just helps me in that regard. So I definitely want to move away from that because I think it is kind of a crutch. But I am new to PLO, so I think in my infancy here, excuse me, while I'm learning, I think it's fine to use software like that. So let me know if the music is too loud, not loud enough, anything like that as we play here. This can be pretty close to a call sometimes. I think I'm just going to fold it this time. If it was double suited, I certainly would call. Once again, having a pair, even a high one like that, is not necessarily the best thing. You kind of want to have 4 live connected cards in PLO. Some pairs are good just to try and set over set somebody, but pocket tens is the best for that. Pretty big fish in the blinds. I don't have the greatest hand in the world. I don't have 3 cards that are connected, so I think I'm just going to let this one go. Although suited aces I do like to see flops with. So we flop a pretty good wrap here. As you can see, I have 47% chance of making a straight. I think we just lead with a hand like this. We can definitely continue to 1 raise. We don't improve. We still have pair and a 40% chance of making a straight, so I think we just keep betting. If we whiff the river, we're still going to bet it. We're definitely going to bet again. He'll have some busted flush draws, some king X that will now fold the river. If we bet again, he calls 3 barrels and is ahead of us now. It's just bad luck. I think most of the time we just get this through. I think him calling with like even king 4 here would be a hero call, although I don't expect him to have that in his range very often. It's kind of one of those boards where if I get there, I can get paid, and if I don't get there, I can win anyway. So we have aces on the button here. Like I said, this would be a good 3-betting hand if it weren't. Um, we have a hand here. I'm just folding. I guess I don't need to drag hands in that I'm not playing anyway. So we get 3-bet with aces, 100 big blinds deep. This player 3-bets versus button pretty tightly. I have a suited aces with a couple connected cards. I guess the standard play could be to 4-bet this. Just trying to think if there's any bluffs in his range. I do have a fairly wide button opening range. I think this time I'm just going to 4-bet. This player is pretty straightforward. He could have some wraps and such. So it looks like he was just 3-bet bluffing. I have a wide button range, and he probably has a HUD and knows that. We raised the button here. We got a pretty dry board. We're just going to c-bet. Folds a c-bet pretty often. We have a high-low-low light board with a backdoor flush, so we're definitely going to bet this. Fold that. Fold that. We get we have 3 cards here. I want to play pots with these players. I think this is just good enough to play here. So we get raised here. Not much we can do. If I had any piece of the board at all, I would continue here, but I just don't. I'm going to check fold this board. I think that's standard play. Once again, we don't have really anything but a backdoor flush draw on. We have our own outs, so let that one go. We're just going to try and play pretty solid today. We're trying to exploit people when we can. We're going to try and play aggressive. We're going to play a stabby, c-betty type style of poker. Try and go after dead money, orphan pots, things like that. I don't think this is a good situation to do it though, 4-way. Heads are all screwed up on this table. It happens occasionally. See if I can get it fixed here off screen. I know how to fix this. There's a trick to it, but I don't feel like doing it right now. So we flop a flush draw over cards. I guess the aggressive players you can check raise this, but I think against straightforward players I just bet. I'm going to try and hit a set here with our queens. Turning a paired board. I think we just have to continue betting. Getting a pretty good price here. Something like 30 to 1 to hit a set. So I think we'll just call with queens. He's repping a big hand. We're not going to go too crazy here. So I get 3-bet with the ace, queen, 6, deuce, double suited. Hit. It says I have the nuts. Oh, I have a 9. God, I just realized I have a 9. I'm such an idiot. That's why it's good to have this, guys. I have proximity issues with this. Let's see. My HUDs are all... Actually, it's this table. It's unfortunate that guy didn't have aces there. That sucks. Who is this guy? Can't decide. So his 3-bet versus under the gun is pretty tight, probably. Yeah, this is like aces all day long. I have proximity issues here. Even though I'm double suited, if it was ace 6, 5, 4, I would call here. But I think ace, queen, 6, deuce, even though it's double suited, when I hit a pair, I just can't stack because my ace isn't necessarily an out, so I'm just going to give it up here. Even though it's multi-way, and I would have flopped top pair, but Yeah, I got problems with the ace in my hand. So I don't think I could still get it in profitably on that board, and it's just one I can't get away from, so I'm better off probably just getting away from that pre-flop. I don't know. I don't know, that could be a call pre-flop. So he had king 10, jack 9. Wow. The short stack ended up having the aces. That's really interesting. I'm going to attack this low board. I'm a backdoor straight draw. I have a gut shot, I think, so it's not like I don't ever have outs here. And I think people just tend to limp and play big hands. This guy has a random big blind hand, so I have to discount him anyway. I think I'll be calling here with the ace queen 4-8 for one raise. It's probably going to be a 5-way pot here. Yeah, I mean, I got a piece of this board, but it's probably still a check fold. Involved in a hand here. I'm just standard c-betting on an ace-ace king. I mean, all we really have going for us here is a backdoor flush draw. So we're going to go ahead and get this up. Yeah. So I don't know why my stream keeps having problems. If anybody's disconnecting, chime in. We got one person already saying that they are disconnecting. It's frustrating because it seems to happen a lot to certain people. Just gonna stab at this board. If players on the big blind, he could certainly have a 6. I guess we're done with this hand. We'll open the ace, king, jack, 3. It's actually pretty marginal in this spot, I think, maybe. I'm going to move this into the screen so you know what I'm talking about. I think this is okay, especially with fish on board, but I don't think it's that strong of a hand. Flop top 2 pair. This player has been shown to be aggressive, so I'm going to check raise him. Try to get the money in. I know we can get free rolled sometimes in this spot. Yeah. I think we free rolled him actually. I mean, he had a 6, but we had the backdoor straight draw that he didn't have, so I'm not sure which hand had more equity. I can check that here. On the flop, I had 53% equity, so I was slight favorite with the best hand. That's always awesome. We're just going to go ahead and try and take this pot away. It's a monotone board. I think he bets a flush on the flop, so I'm trying to wonder if there's any thin value here for me. Maybe go for 14 cents for the straight. A river to disguise straight here, so yeah, a high flush. So big deal. I mean, I think it was worth it for 14 cents. It's not like he's ever raising with that hand, so I think there's worse that can call there for 14 cents. I think this is a good 3-bet squeeze candidate here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. We are a little deep here. But I still like the squeeze play with this type of hand. Double suited, rundown. That's a really good board to see bet. Should take this down like at like 100% frequency. Let's see, somehow it has a 3 or slow play pocket aces. Which would be really weird. I think I like the call-in position with the fish in the big blind. I could definitely 3-bet this hand. Because I can safely call off the short stack shove with this hand. So I'm not really worried about him squeezing, because if he squeezes, I can just put the money in with a double suited piece like this. Our hand is pretty much garbage on this flop. I don't even know that I'd stab at this. I think we're just going to check back, try to get the showdown here. Yeah, I don't see anything like ace, jack, X even folding here. Ace, king, certainly not. So we're just going to hope we're good at showdown. Why did the table not disappear? Technical difficulties as usual. I don't expect to be good here, actually. Oh, okay, we'll take it. Small victories. We're actually back to even now after all that fiasco. Certainly going to open this in the cutoff. Just realized there's something I can do here. Make things work easier, more efficiently. Go pull up our layout here. And for table 3, click it as empty. That's Table Tamer. I'm pulling up the settings, by the way, if you don't know what that was. So flop top pair, flush draw possible. We have a pretty good reg here. I think this guy's a winning player. Doesn't show that he is, but I'm pretty sure he's a good player for this stake. I think we just go for a standard c-bet. I don't think he's check raising out of line. He's raising c-bet 13%, so I think we just safely c-bet this. I think it's better to c-bet this and bet fold than it is to try and check back and do something on the turn. There isn't really a whole lot he can raise here. So I think when we get raised, it's going to be like a narrow range. I think our setup is going to work better this way. Could have gone up open. This hand, it's a little marginal. I know it's kings, but it's still a little marginal. I have a 3, and it's hard for him to have a 6, so I'm just going to bet here. I'm going to keep attacking, try to build an aggressive image, keep building an aggressive image. Good board to see that. We have a piece, and generally ace high boards are good to see that. If he has pocket aces now, we're just going to have to pay him off. We're going to go ahead and keep betting. thinking mostly he has flush draws and like straight draw wraps, that type of things. Wow, we get raised. Is this like a slow played aces? I mean, what is he repping here? I mean, what could he have that's worse than ours? Huh. This guy's so passive. I mean, I can't fold this, right? I mean, maybe we can just call this and maybe there's some cards that would slow him down on the river. Like that one should slow him down. If somehow he did have like, I don't know, king, I don't know, ace, I don't even know, ace king, well, I can't have that. Can we just get away from this now? Diamonds came in. This looks like a blocker bet. I mean, I guess he could have pocket eights. I mean, I'm just gonna have to call. I mean, it's such a small price. And he had aces. Wow. So, and he had the flush draw. So we just dodged a bullet there, guys. We should have lost our whole stack there. I think most players would have lost their whole stack there. Most people, even especially tight players, do 3-bet. But what a miserable turn card for us, right? Miserable turn card. Terrible turn card. Doesn't get any worse than that. We kind of lost the minimum there, though, I think, with that turn card. I knew it was a fishy turn against a passive player. I mean, I guess he has eights sometimes, or some kind of 2-pair slow played, or ace king. I mean, yeah, it was weird. Had like one out, right? This guy opening wide? Not really. I like playing against bad players, so I'm just going to call here. We have another bad player in the big blind. Can't do much on that flop. Keep getting these errors. Again, still. I thought it was the big blind feature. This is a check fold flop, I believe. Yeah, these errors here keep popping up. Poker client. I think it's some kind of conflict with either hold'em indicator or I think we just check fold this.
You're listening to Love Advice with Leanne. Caller, you're on the air.
Hi, Leanne. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Why, in your professional opinion, do you never take my calls off the air?
Is this Carl?
Yeah, it's Carl. We had a few dates, and it was great. I thought.
Well, when you switch to Geico, you could save a lot of money on car insurance.
Yeah, next stream I'm going to switch back to Classic.
You should call them.
I will.
I don't use the advanced features anymore anyway. We're just going to flat with the aces here. We can't get enough of our stack in really pre-flop. We could always get squeezed here too. Yeah, I think I'm going to lead this board. I think a king can call. I mean, I think somebody's going to have a 7 here a fair percentage of the time, but not often enough that we can't bet. I think it's that a fish can call with a king here. We just bet the queen jack X. I'm just going to bet small. I think if he has 7-9 or 7s or something like that, he raises. Otherwise, it's probably just going to call with a king. Pretty easy fold. We're just going to take it to showdown now. Quad jacks, huh? Yeah, people are making hands against us. There's not much you can do when people are making hands against you. But just mitigate those and lose like the minimum, which I think we've kind of done, right? We kind of like run into it this session so far. Got a little bit of bad luck. I mean, think about that one turn card being a little bit differently, and the whole session could be in a different light right now. We'd be like, could be something like $10 up right now. We're not going to lose hope here. We will run good eventually. We already know this is a very swingy game, right? So much more so than Northern Hold'em, especially when we're not playing a short stack. We're just gonna try and keep improving. I just know I'm not very good at this game right now, but I'm working. I'm trying to be aggressive and work on it. The only way to really get better is to play. I mean, you could study till the cows come home, and you're really not gonna improve unless you just put it in the hands. Yeah, I'm gonna fold that one. It's not a perfect rundown. You gotta be careful with these hands. I think it's okay to see flops with them. I mean, I would much rather be heads up with this hand, but I think with a perfect rundown like this, I think it's okay. I just gotta be very vigilant post flop, not to stack on like a low wrap, dummy into the wrap. Just gonna fold this under the gun. Pretty hand, but I think this can be deceptive. Do we stab at this? I think we don't. Actually, I need to change the way this works. Now the table only disappeared at the end of the hand. So it doesn't keep popping up on us and confusing people, maybe. Really easy fold on this turn when this has a player. I mean, I just think this guy's got pocket queens all day long when he leads in all these people. Or 3 of some kind. Could have a 3 for sure. So we would have liked that river. I need to have a button that moves that table back to stack. Where is the hotkey? Man, I wish he hadn't made all these changes to Table Tamer. I know they're probably good, but it's just so hard to find anything anymore. How do I just move a table to stack? Okay, here we go. Stack table, I'll make it X1 button. So I click it now and it goes back to stack. Cool. Alright. I think we'll just see a flop. Same thing here with the fish. We're pretty deep with this player. This is maybe the best reg at 10-0 that I've seen. This player's all in, I just realized. So I guess we'll just check it down. No side pot. We don't get there. We're not going to try and bluff him off a dry side pot. So we had a top pair with an open-ended straight draw here. I think that's worth leading. We certainly don't want to just put in 170 big blinds here. I think this board connects really well with the calling range. So I'm just going to keep betting. This guy's pretty sticky on the flop and turn, I've noticed. Huh. Okay. Interesting. We're going to go ahead and 3-bet this. This player folds 45% to 3-bet, which I think could be exploitable. We kind of have our own outs, don't we? Somewhat. Getting on 2.7 to 1. Yeah, I mean, what is this guy really repping? Nothing's got there yet. I think we might just have the best hand here. I think we just lead now. I mean, what can he have here? Pocket jacks, but I have a jack, so I'm thinking he's just bluff raising the turn, and I could just take it away on the river like this by calling. I've seen this player, I mean, I have some history of that player. I've seen him raise turns really light, like with straight draws, two pairs that aren't really that great. Pretty confident players do raise a lot of their middle strength hands, especially ones with potential. And that's the same player in the last session that had raised us in a weird spot, and we had re-raised just because it was pretty transparent what he was doing. But there's certainly not many players I would be doing that against. This is a really crappy hand, but I'll play it because I'm on the button. This is a player that 3-bet a slide earlier and then folded. I think this is one of these good spots to check back and try to realize equity. Pretty dry board. I think we're just going to go for a raise here. We potentially have a lot of outs. 2-pair outs and such. And it's really hard for him just to have anything on this board. I mean, it is for us too, but maybe he won't realize that, right? There's a hand that didn't pop up, a really strong hand. Alright. Ace, queen, queen, double suited is one of the strongest hands in PLO, and it didn't pop up. I'm going to have to switch it back to the old way. We're just going to try and get him off whatever he has. I don't anticipate him folding too much here, but yeah, I mean, he's going to have a lot of flush draws, so I'm just going to do fold because we were going to miss this hand, and that would have been a travesty. Just have to let them pop up. Oops. See? Not a great flop. We do have 2 backdoor flush draws. I think against this player, we're just going to try and check shove. I don't know anything about this guy. But it's hard for this board to really connect with a lot of calling ranges. I think he's just going to have high cards a lot. I mean, I just don't know anything about this player. And we turn the flush draw. I mean, straights get there, but we have the flush draw. We're just going to get it in. Wow, he got there too. Jeez. I mean, what are the odds, right? This guy's just going to happen to have 8-6. We do suck out that time, though, which is good. We have the gut shot. He's a bad player. We just have to bet small here. So on that hand, we had 70% equity pre-flop. That's hard to do. We were actually flipping on that flop when the money went in, and he hit his miracle card. We still had 25% equity, even on that turn. That's a really bad turn card. We're just going to give up here. How does this guy open buttons? Not very much. You're obviously losing the queens and ace queen here. I think I was talking about a hand off screen. I'll have to stop doing that. Why is it populating? It's not supposed to be populating up there. What did I screw up? Huh. Why is it populating up there? That's weird. Man, I'm so tired of technical. Why can't anything just work? Right? Ugh, I can't even make this work. I think against a big dummy, which this guy took as his name. I think we might just have to call here with all the fish involved in this hand. I mean, there's just such a premium on making nut over nut flush type hands. We do have 3 connected lower cards, mid-low cards, so it's not the worst. Basically looking to just get it in with a pair and a flush over flush type situation, right? It's an award-winning flop for our hand.
Did you know that you don't have to go to the post office again?
We're just going to give up here.
Stamps.com, you can access all the services of the post office right from your computer. Buy and print U.S. postage for any letter, any package. No more expensive postage meters or time-consuming trips to the post office. It doesn't get any easier. And now Spotify listeners get a special
We'll open this hand. Looks like somebody got bumped out.
Click on the banner or go to stamps.com, click on the microphone, and type in Spotify.
What do we get? Min 3-bet here? First time he's ever 3-bet button versus call. Hopefully we get some calls from some fish here. We have proximity issues, but it is only 35 cents to call here, so we're just going to check. I don't think we're going to bother ripping a flush. He's probably never going to bet here. We have outs. Yeah, we're just going to give him the spot. We had equity to realize there. We're not going to try and rip a flush here. Wow, that must have been an accidental 3-bet on his part. I wish I had known that. Yeah, he must have just misclicked or something. I would expect that to be in his 3-bet range. I don't think this player's quite wide enough for me to do a 3-bet with that hand. Certainly going to consider it though. However, this player is really wide, and he folds the C-bet 68% in 3-bet pots. We got to try and take advantage of that whenever we can. We don't want to go overboard with it, obviously, but that should be really exploitable. Wow, okay, we got to worry about this one. Yeah, if we don't flop huge here, we're pretty much done with this hand. This is like aces all over, although that's a pretty good flop for our hand. It's hard for us to rep it, but it's hard for him to rep it too, so I'm just going to check and expect him to check back a lot. There's a lot of good turn cards for us. We could certainly have like ace 4, 3, 2, something like that. I think we have to bet this. We could certainly have like 6, 7 here. I mean, it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility for us to 3-bet like 9, 8, 7, 6 or something. I think it's a lot more likely we connect with it than his cold calling range does. And besides, it looked like he was just looking for an excuse to fold, so we're not going to do it to him again. And it's kind of good to c-bet there just because we don't really want to see a showdown, right? We don't want the guy on the button to see that we're 3-betting with that hand, so I think it's good. Thank you very much for the follow. I do appreciate that. You are awesome. If I could just see your name. Technical difficulties. I think this hand's good enough to open. Try to open as many hands as we can within reason. We're definitely not folding this. Think about 3-betting this hand if it was double suited. I'm just going to call though. Carol Nespor, thank you very much for the follow. We flop a piece and a backdoor, but I think we're gonna have to be done. There's higher wraps that just have us crushed here, so I think we're just done with this hand. I think it's definitely worth a call pre-flop. We're $16 away from taking our shot at 25-0. Maybe that can happen soon. I mean, there's also an argument that we may just try and grind up slower, but I think it's fun. If we like have to drop down over and over again, we might rethink that, but you never know. Maybe we hit a run good patch at the right time. Don't have the suited ace here, which diminishes this hand. Yeah, it looks pretty, but I think we're gonna fold it. It's hard to turn a profit under the gun. So I'm gonna pretty much be a premium card player. I somehow ended up on Doug Polk's email list. I keep getting emails from him. Or upswingpoker.com. It's really weird. Maybe I downloaded one of his PLO guides or something. Maybe that was it. Not his PLO guide? Who's the PLO guy at that site? Is it him? Or Jay Nandez? Jay Nandez there. I think I downloaded a 10 Secrets to PLO. Which is actually, I think, pretty good. If you guys are interested in PLO, you should go get that. Certainly going to call with the hand here. We're just going to look to stab and take this away. Most people hate this board. I think it's pretty common just to lead with a flush. It's really weird that we get insta-raised. Okay. His hand. So it's called 10 Potland and Omaha Secrets. This is a board that is really good for my range, so I can definitely rep this by calling any dynamic card on the turn. I could just pretty much race with. Now we have some showdown value. He barrels a lot. I'm not really too concerned about a barrel here. Yeah. This looks like it could be a bluff. Definitely never calling here. I'm either raising or folding. Yeah, I'm kind of wary of the tank. The tank raise worries me more than... I don't think people are usually thinking about bluffing when it's... I think if he's going to bluff, he would have already had his mind there, but maybe done a little bit quicker. I don't know. I could definitely see myself raising. Maybe a more dynamic river card. Maybe I would just be leading that anyway, rather than going for a river check raise. I think we definitely need to find a check raising range on a lot of boards still in rivers, instead of just doing it with the nuts like a lot of people do. think we're going to go ahead and 3-bet this guy in position. It's hard for us to rep this. We're going to check back. I'm just going to give up on this board. He bets versus miss. He bet 28% that guy, so it makes it pretty easy to play the turn. Once we check back the flop anyway, it's like he's just gonna check fold. I think because we have the gut shot, we can bet this. He's a pretty passive player, though. Yeah, I think this is a straightforward spot. We can just fold if he raises. I think we might just barrel off here. I think he's just going to have a lot of flush draws. Of course, we obviously have blockers to that, so that's good if he does have a flush draw. But he'll have a lot of jack X and things that he floated with that he just can't call with on the turn as well. Flopping a flush draw. This guy's pretty bet happy. We're going to go ahead and just raise this flop. Take control of this pot, hopefully. We don't improve. I think he's just gonna have a lot of draws here though, so we're just gonna bet. We're definitely repping like queen nines, 7-8 combo draws, you know, pocket nines, pocket queens, you know, any of those hands we could definitely have. This looks like a blocker bet. I'm not sure he's necessarily going to fold a 6, but we definitely have to try to get him off something. Looks like he just had a 6. Wow, he had pocket nines. Whoops. What is this people having the nuts stuff? Wow, we just keep picking the wrong moments to raise people. Must be nice to run like this guy. I mean, that's still a small part of his range, right? So, it's not like I'm going to lose sleep over that play. I mean, that's even a spot he could maybe fold a 6, so. You notice he wasn't looking to pile the money in with his 9s, so. So we flop just Gen here. We're going to try and get the money in. ISO here. Flop's much better for his range, however, he is a fish, so we're just going to do a straightforward C-bet. If he misses, he's just going to fold. I think we can still get value, believe it or not. This guy's a fish, so we could definitely just have flush draws or 8x and call another street. We don't have 2 pair. If we had 2 pair, we'd call. This guy's pretty aggressive, though. I'm assuming he just has like king 8 or something here when he does this. I don't know. Thing is, we just don't have any outs, right? 2 pair isn't necessarily an out. So I think we just are better off folding versus the fish when they raise. I don't know, if we had some kind of gut shot or something, I might be tempted to just call there. Yeah, didn't he 3-bet fold earlier? He's overall been pretty tight though, hasn't he? But this is one of those hands we could definitely call because we have ace 9-6-5, which is connected. We have a slight semi-rundown and double suited hand. Definitely not folding. And yeah, we're just gonna have to get it in now. If he has the case pocket aces, so be it. So be it. Go ahead and bet our mid pair here. Wow, okay. So he just has a king high flush draw on a pair. Make 2 pair. I think we hold, right? Alright, we held. So he had a pretty good hand for that board, which is no big surprise, right? But we're certainly not going to fold with top pair and a flush draw and a 3-bet pot with a low SPR. Wow, we actually only had 32% equity on that board because I guess he dominated our flush draw. That's unfortunate, but good that we won. It's about time we ran decent for a session, although we have been kind of running bad on flops and turns, right?
A few bars of Diana Krall's new album, Turn Up the Quiet, to sense the joy the artist took in making this record, featuring love.
We have a gut shot on 2 back doors here, so I don't think we're folding the flop.
Night and day. And more. Listen now on Spotify.
Three bet this, we have blockers and double suited hand again. Just gonna check back with my fresh draw. Get up there. Too many boats possible. Not that he wouldn't necessarily be betting 2 pair. I'm gonna raise the turn here most of the time. It's this damn player again though, this annoying guy. I'm gonna bet here. And follow through. Assuming he's gonna have like busted flush draws a lot. We don't want to get bluffed, so we're just gonna bet, although he's passive, so I guess that's not really that big of a possibility. Okay. Giving up there. So we make a straight here. Guess we're just gonna get it in. Yes, 5-6. You got me. And we won another decent sized pot. A little bit of our money back. All right. Hey, Emalamus. Emalamus says, hey man, any reason you decided to get on PLO instead of just playing no limit hold'em? Yeah, I mean, the main reason is the no limit hold'em games are really tough on this site. I mean, really tough. And the short stack buy-in is 40 big blinds. It's just hard to find fish, honestly. And there's a ton of beast grinders. The tables are all just full of regs grinding the beast. So, because there's fish that are PLO players on this side, I think it's better just to go where the fish are. And besides, I've been wanting to learn PLO for a long time. So I think it's a good opportunity for me. I may still play some hold'em on here. I haven't ruled it out, you know. We're at $241. We need $9 more here. One more buy-in. If we want to buy in here, we will take our shot at 25. You know. Make sure we're not sitting out on tables here. No tables are popping up. I think there's just hands going on every table. That's what it looks like. Okay. So we're at feast or famine, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. We've still got 4 games going. There's some guy that's just tanking. Maybe there's some lag issues. So there's like 4 different players that are just tanking. I wonder if there's just lag problems right now on the site. Hope that doesn't come to this site too. I hope they don't DDoS the site again. Hit those issues too. It's just a shitty environment really for poker players in America especially. So while we're doing that, let's just look at some of these 10 secrets to PLO. Post-flop PLO if it is. This is the guy Jay Nandez. Secret 1 is don't over-defend from the big blind. Choose hands with polarized distributions. Connectivity, suitedness. Can make nut over nut. It says unable to find server. What the? Really? Well, I think it might be me that's the problem, guys. Shit. I guess I'm gonna crash it out and restart Black Chip Poker. Come on. Here I was thinking people were tanking and it's me the whole time. Great. Nah, it won't start at all. Look, it's frozen. Trying again. Wow. Quickest session ever, right? Okay, came back up. Okay, maybe not. Resolving server name. Exciting. Well, we know secret number 1 now. Let's look at secret number 2. You shouldn't cold call too often from middle position. That makes sense, right? Especially when you have an active button that's calling a lot behind, right? Because you're going to be out of position. That's pretty straightforward. Avoid weak hands at that spot. Pre-flop secret 3, avoid raising for less than full pot. I mean, I think there's maybe some chances, or sometimes you should raise less than full, but I agree, there's probably, can't go too wrong just potting it. Especially when you're trying to target players that play poorly, you want to build bigger pots, and especially in position. Number 4 is restill more often. I think a lot of players do restill not often enough. Today I am 3-betting 7%. I have had days where I've 3-bet 10% though. I don't think we just haven't had that many spots to 3-bet. It's been a lot of fishiness going on, so you have less opportunities when it's less reggy games. But yeah, these are good hands for sure. Suited high aces, double suited connector mid cards are good, yeah. 3-betting aces is almost always better. Bad aces is almost always better than flatting. I agree with that maybe in position, but out of position I think a lot of times you're just better off almost being a set mining hand. Unless you think you can get heads up and get enough money in pre-flop. If you can't get at least 33% of your stack, ideally more than that in pre-flop, it's probably better off just being a call. Because if you do call pre-flop or raise and somebody squeezes or something, I mean, you can just back raise, and then you easily get the money in, right? Don't c-bet too much when off from out of position. I'm probably am guilty of doing c-betting too much out of position. That's something I need to work on. Yeah, it looks like Blackjack Poker's just dead. I'm gonna try again though. Not gonna give up hope yet. And I do apologize to people that are watching this to see No Limit Hold'em. I am going to play No Limit Hold'em still, but I am... Since Ignition's having so many problems, I figured what the hell is... And regs, there's so many regs that No Limit Hold'em on Blackjack Poker. And besides, learning PLO will really help anybody's No Limit Hold'em game. It's because it broadens your understanding of post-flop. I guess Blackjack Poker is just gone. I don't know if it's just me or what. No. I'll leave it there running in the background, see what happens. So we bet when we have a big, this is out of position, we bet when we have a big equity advantage. Or we have a more netted distribution of equity. Yeah, I agree with that. So when the board's better for us, we see that. That makes sense. Playing a linear strategy is a leak, and base their strategy around their equity. I agree with that for sure. Yeah. If you're only betting and raising when you have a super strong hand and high equity, it's very exploitable. You got to be raising sometimes when you just have blockers. Board's better for your range. I mean, you've seen me do a few of those raises. I'm not saying I'm that good at choosing those spots yet, but at least I think I'm aware of it. Leading is correct on some board textures. We might be back. Maybe not. Every time I say that, it goes to crap again. Resolving server names, so yeah, we're having some kind of issue. Yeah, this is a move I've been working on a lot. Is when you get a flop like this and this type of hand, like a high-low-low type board that connects pretty good with your range, is just don't bet 3 barrels, because you're almost always going to get cards that are going to be scare cards. Like if you sit there with aces, kings, overs, whatever, and a 4 hit 7, 8, 5, jack, any of those cards, you're going to get a fold. So you're definitely going to be making profitable bets when you lead this type of spot. So that's something definitely to look for as far as donk betting. Can't go overboard with it, obviously. Same with anything else, but okay. I'm just trying to pull up a random table here to see if it's the tables I was already on, or okay. People are still on those tables, it looks like. Alright. Post-flop secret number 9. Most PLO players bet the pot too often. Betting full pot can be correct if PLO, but doing it too often, especially prior to the river, will give away a lot about your range. Yeah, I agree with that. I think a 3/4 pot bet size as a standard with your entire range is probably the way to go. At least that's what I'm doing so far. You could be a bluff, it could be for value, it could be anything. It's small enough that you're not burning money when you're bluffing, and it's big enough to usually get a lot of the money in by the river anyway. You're just blowing off way too many weak hands when you pot. Basically just saying, hey, I have the nuts. You're raising your hands, hey everybody, I have a set, I have aces, I have a straight. If you have a lot of equity, call, because if you get there, I'm going to pay you off. That's basically the way I see it. So yeah, don't do that. Hero calling the river is often terrible. Yeah, definitely. You gotta have a really, really strong read to make any kind of hero call. Like calling big bets on the river, but like 2 pair or anything that is less than the nuts is usually pretty bad. So, okay. So I like all of these. I think if we try to implement this into our game as we go, you guys let me know if I violate these. We're going to try and be aggressive and stick with this. I don't know, man. Should we just give up here? Alright, so yeah, I guess we're screwed here. Thanks a lot, Black Chip Poker. So we've been streaming over an hour anyway. We are up today quite a bit. I mean, what did we end yesterday at? If anybody was watching the stream, I think we were down to like 180 something, 180, 170. So we've grown it back up to 240. So we're only one buy-in away from our epic shot at 25 and 0. Maybe we'll just run good. If we could just run really good, I might be taking a shot at 50 PLO. And I know I sometimes call it NL. I gotta stop doing that. I may have just said that a minute ago. But yeah, it just shows how much of a noob I am. Let me see if there's anything else we can do. Let me see what ignition looks like right now. I'm just curious. Maybe we'll check and see. Let's see if there's a 5-cent, 10-cent game running on Ignition. There is. Let's see if there's 2. Boy, it's taking forever to load. So, all right. Let's see if there's 3. Why not? Oh, I didn't want to buy in for the minimum. Nope, there's only 2. We'll 2-table Ignition Poker for a little bit. Switch it over to Phil here. Hold that. So you want VPIP, free flop raise, aggression factor, steal, 3-die, all the usual stuff. So you can get a HUD up here. This is just a completely different look to adjust to this. I mean, we could certainly play PLO on Ignition, but I mean, the lag issues are the lag issues, right? Why do I not have a full stack here? Get this out of the way. Get these heads in the right place, please. It just won't give me a full stack. Okay. Now watch, I'll pull black chip poker out and it will be working now. Does it look like it? Yeah, this is certainly going to be fishier, I think, probably than WPN is. So I said, if I could beat PLO and WPN, I can come back to Bovada probably and play mid stakes and crush, right? I have a gut shot. Maybe just check back. Actually hit straight. That's pretty sweet. We have the aces. We'll play about just a few more minutes here. AKW says, every time you say no limit, you have to put $1 in the jar. Well, as long as I get to keep the jar, I'll be glad to do that. I think we just put a little more money in this pot. Hopefully he has a set of threes or something. Definitely gonna raise it up with the aces here. Poker client stopped working. That's black chip poker. So yeah, apparently it is having problems right now. But that's okay. So I promise I'll switch to, in fact I might end this in like, you know what, I think I'm going to do that. I think we look for a safe turn card. Not the safest turn card, but it does give us top set. And we have a heart, so it's less likely he has a flush. I'm still not going to raise here. Yeah, we're just, I guess we could go for some value here. It's going to be hard to get a lot of value, but we'll look for a little bit. Alright, so we get a little bit of value. I think I'm going to go ahead and end the session, though. And, you know what, I'm going to set up OBS Classic for tomorrow. I think that's a better use of my time. And I'll try and incorporate the... Actually, you know what? I'll have to find a new... I'll figure it out. I was just thinking about the layout. The new... Yeah. I think I can do it. I don't think it's a problem. I just won't have all the features, but I don't like those features anyway, so... Yeah, okay. We're fine. Why did the HUD not come up here? Oh, I know why. Because I only changed the settings on one of them. Whoops. Crap. Oh well. I just have to make sure to close the second table, or the table on the left, last, so it saves the settings. Wow. I mean, it's not an awesome hand. We are on the hijack though, so it's okay to open the hijack. I wouldn't open this under the gun. I think it's really easy to play in a multi-way pot. You get like a huge flop or you don't. It's definitely not the flop we're looking for. I don't even know if we'll wait to see for a turn card here. Yeah. I'm just going to go in a session. There's always a chance he could go Jack, Jack, 8, 8, 7, 7, 10, 10, right? So I hate to just give up on hands, but it's highly unlikely we'll be good or even ever able to continue. We'll get off that table. And we're done here as well. Hey, so I think we're up $2 or $1.50 or something on Ignition Poker. I've thought about taking this money off and putting it on WPM, but I'm kind of just content playing 10 and L while I learn PLO. I don't really want to dump a whole bunch of money. Already dumped some, so yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up my OBS Classic, and hopefully we won't have the lag issues going forward if I do that. I'm once again apologize for those lag issues, but thanks everybody for hanging with me on that. Actually, you know what? I hate setting that up. Yeah, maybe I'll ask off stream here how everybody's lag is, whether the lag is still an issue. Because man, it's a pain in the butt to set a new OBS up. I don't really want to do it. So again, thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.